Hello and welcome to this Betfair weekend preview. We're looking ahead to this week's Irish Electricity Premier League action in the company of Betfair's Daniel McDonnell. Now, second and third place teams in the league meet each other this weekend, Daniel, when St Patrick's Athletic are up against Drogheda. And I believe there are some recent scores to be settled in this one.
Yeah, it's only last week they played each other twice in the space of 4 days in the FAI Cup quarter-final. And the first game at St Patrick's Athletic's home ground finished in a draw. Then the replay at Drogheda, they couldn't be separated after 90 minutes. It went all the way to extra time, and St Pat's won on penalties. So, you know, they sort of, over the course of the year, the games between them have been very tightly contested. And I guess Drogheda, having lost the cup game, will have something of a score to settle here, I guess. Now, Drogheda did win the EA Sports Cup last week, so they're probably coming into the game on a little bit of a high. But, you know, the bigger picture here is that they are second and third in the league. Sligo Rovers have opened up a good gap, and while it may be sort of long odds against either of these teams being able to catch them, they are the most likely as it stands, and it's a game in that respect that the both of them need to win, so there's a lot at stake.
Both teams need to win this game to keep their title hopes alive. So do you think we should be expecting plenty of goals in this one, Dan?
Well, not especially, just given the respective records of the sides this year. I mean, St Pat's, if they'd scored more goals, they'd probably be a lot closer to Sligo. That's been their failing all year. Now, the flip side of that is that they haven't given very much away, and their defensive record is actually far better than Drogheda's. But at the same time, Drogheda are quite difficult to beat at home. They've shown this year that, you know, they can frustrate St Pat's in the games that they've met. So I think in terms of the play here, I think under 2.5 goals, given the record between the sides this year, will be a solid bet. And in terms of the overall picture, maybe to see how the market develops, I think maybe laying Drogheda in 90 minutes could still be the way to go. I can't see St Patrick's Athletic losing this game, but at the same time, I mean, you wouldn't be hugely confident about them necessarily winning. Maybe 1-1 as a speculative bet in the correct score market as well, on top of the under 2.5 goals being the main bet here.
And I wonder about the league leaders, Sligo Rovers. We spoke about them a bit last week. Now, they could only manage a draw against Bray last weekend. What about their game against Derry City this weekend? Yeah,
Sligo, maybe disappointing that they didn't get the result in Bray last Friday. I mean, at this stage of the season, there's a lot of expectancy on their shoulders, and although they played okay in the game, they lacked a cutting edge. So yeah, looking ahead to this weekend, I mean, there'll be a huge crowd in Sligo for the game. They'll be expecting a good show against the Derry side that's maybe struggled in the league this year, but I still think it could be a more difficult game than they expect. Derry's away form has probably been better than their home form across the year, and they've done okay in the two games with Sligo. So although Derry have a big cup semi-final the following weekend, they still really need an upturn in their league form, and I think they'll probably fancy the opportunity to stop Sligo in their stride this weekend.
And any bets in particular we should be looking for here?
Yeah, I guess in that context, I mean, Derry's ability particularly to start well in away games, they've scored their first goal in quite a few across the season. So while I still fancy Sligo to come through across the 90 minutes, I think maybe two things worth looking at is Derry in the next goal market, because they should be reasonably priced there, and also in the half-time, full-time, maybe a draw at half-time and Sligo to take the victory on 90 minutes. They do have still a fair few options on the bench, although they've suffered a couple of injuries in recent weeks. And across the 90 minutes, I expect the crowd to get the result they're looking for, but I think it might be a little bit more difficult than they may anticipate going there.
And just finally from you, thanks for your time as ever, Daniel, but any other bets we should be looking at in Ireland this weekend?
Yeah, just going to have a look at the First Division. The games in recent weeks have been quite high scoring there, particularly involving Waterford United, who are in second place. In a sense, they have nothing to lose, so they're chasing Limerick, who are top, and their games have been particularly high scoring. So if they go to Finn Harps on Saturday evening, game in Donegal, and just looking at the recent trends, I guess you would expect there to be quite a few goals in this game. So maybe a speculative bet on over 3.5 goals might be the way to go. Waterford have to win the game, and they're going to go for it, I think, if they're struggling. So I don't think it's going to be tight like Drogheda and St Pat's. I think it's going to be more high scoring. So yeah, over 3.5 there might be worth a few quid.
Well, my thanks to Daniel McDonnell. That's it from this Betfair weekend preview of the Electricity Irish Premier League action this weekend. From me, Dave Farrar, bye-bye.